when we think of nature spirits, there's so many cultural stereotypes, and this part of our tradition is important, of fairies and gnomes and elves. And when I first moved to Colorado, and my inner guidance, which I'd been channeling for 20 years, I guess, told me to tune into nature. And so I went around for 4 years looking for, hoping I'd hear something or see something unusual along that line, probably. And what I didn't realize was that I was a nature spirit, in part. We believe that our soul family, our oversoul from which all of our reincarnational lives comes forth from, is part human and part nature, and in terms of the souls involved. I remember when I first channeled that I had the same relationship to certain places up in Rocky Mountain National Park, and certain beings like flowers, the same relationship to them that I would have in relationship to other reincarnational selves of mine. Like Peter is a reincarnational self of mine. You can have lives that are concurrent, that all stem from the same soul family. So that the teachings that came when Peter and I started channeling, and a lot of this information came through, put everything into a totally different perspective. Because then I realized that to really connect with nature on a soul level, and the nature spirits on a soul level, was an inward journey as much as an external one. In other words, I go out and I really tune into the external things around me, the land, the plants, the sky, but then I resonate with it, and I feel what part of me internally resonates with it. And if I stay with that long enough, pretty soon lakes and mountains and flowers start to want to have voice through me. And of course, everyone that we channel is from the same soul family that we are, and so they all are part human, just as we are part nature, coming from the same soul family. That's both.
So, what do you think the significance of this kind of work is today in modern society, and with where people are at with nature? What do you think the impact of this work is, from what you've seen?
Good question. It's almost like walking between two worlds. When I go up in an altered state in the woods, and I see and feel things that humans have felt and seen for as long as there have been humans here. A very close relationship with nature spirits, who are much more intelligent than I am for the most part. They understand humans perfectly. They, they have their own point of view, which is actually very interesting. But they are very sentient beings. And I go from having those conversations and feel that love and that kinship. It's wonderful. And I tend to then want to close down that part of me when I come back to town, when I come back home. And my guides are always pushing me on that, because there really isn't a difference, ultimately, between the city life and mountain life, except that humans have dominated, of course, the city environment more. And it feels to me, when there's too much human domination, it feels sterile, it feels lifeless, and we get lost in noise and distraction and sensationalism. I think to try to make up for what we're lacking in real relationship and love that used to always be there between the humans and the nature realm. And so I think a lot of people are hungry for that love. not for classifying nature spirits or studying nature spirits, but the love. We're missing the love for something beyond the human. And it's very surprisingly hard to find in the city.